So, one of the most iconic scenes in Soy Luna is Simon and Ambar's first kiss. The way they first lean in for a peck, then both of them are like, "Ooh, I like this," and then they basically start to make out. And after the kiss, where Simon basically stops working and starts stammering and like is just completely enamored with her, and he tries to kiss her again, but she stops him. And not because she didn't like the kiss. On the contrary, she loved the kiss just as much as him, but she doesn't want to be late for the movie. So Simone picks her up and runs with her bridal style to the theater. An extremely iconic and sweet scene, and honestly, it's hard to not ship these two. The only ones I've met that doesn't ship Simone and Ambar have a grudge against one or both of the characters for some reason, and I can't relate. I love both of these characters. But today I am not here to gush about Simbar as much as I am going to talk about something that I have been wondering for a while. What movie were they gonna watch? What is the movie that Ambar so desperately wants to see in theaters that she has to interrupt a kiss with Simon to remind him that she doesn't want to be late to? A movie that she originally wanted to see with Delphi, but because they stopped being friends, she couldn't, and she doesn't want to go alone for some reason. Personally, I have gone to the movies plenty of times alone, and I love it, so I don't know why you have to go with someone else, but Ambar is someone who wants to see this movie with someone else for some reason. So I have been theorizing about which movie it may be. Now, I am a person who is cultural, but I am also not cultural at the same time. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I know about because it's mainstream, but I haven't really consumed it myself. I just have, like, picked it up through cultural osmosis. But I am assuming that Soy Luna Season 2 takes place in 2017, the year it came out. And most DC late shows start at the beginning of the school year and ends at the end of the year, around December. And this is episode 70 of Soy Luna. Meaning that most likely this takes place around perhaps the end of October or somewhere in November. It could of course be earlier too, I don't know. But there is one specific movie that came out during the last months of 2017. A movie that I personally very much kept track with because I was involved with the fandom a lot in 2017. And this is a movie that I think that if you would watch it in cinema, probably you wouldn't want to watch it alone. You'd want to watch it with someone else. So this movie came out in September, and I checked that in Argentina, this movie came out specifically September 16th. And usually, you keep a movie in cinemas for around 2 months, sometimes more, depending on how popular it is. I know of movies that have been there for like 3 or 4 months, or even 5 months. So if Simone and Ambar's kiss takes place during some time in November, it is very possible that they still are showing this movie. And because the actual dates in Soy Luna aren't always super clear, it could also take place already in October, which then would put it even more likely that it still had screenings in theaters. The movie I am talking about, the movie that Ambar desperately wants to see, but she doesn't want to see alone for some reason, is It Chapter 1. Yes, I am proposing. They're not watching some romantic movie that you would watch on a date night. They are watching It Chapter 1, a horror movie. Of course Ambar doesn't want to watch it alone, so I am just imagining Simone and Ambar just sitting in like the theater, watching like Georgie getting his arm bitten off and like these children getting killed by this murderous clown, and just making out in the darkness so they miss everything. However, The movie that Amber wanted to show Simone in her room, I still have no idea what it was. I don't know her movie taste, so I have no idea what possibly her favorite movie could be. But if she and Simone watched It Chapter 1 in theaters on their first date, that would have been so funny. Anyway, that was just a silly idea I had. I wasn't super serious, it would be really funny if they watched It Chapter 1 on their first date. Happy Halloween, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys another time. Goodbye.
La película estuvo demasiado buena, ¿no?
No, fue muy buena.